Hello again, comic fans, and welcome to Massive Nerds Comic of the Week. This week for March 16th, 2011. Now, I debated with myself for quite a while as to what exactly the Comic of the Week was going to be, and I came up with nothing. So, we are going to have our second grab bag week for the Comic of the Week. This time I'm focusing on 6 titles that I recommend to anybody who's looking for something new to read. And we're going to start off on the DC side of things with Xombi #1 by John Rozum and Frazer Irving. Xombi is a relaunch of an old title from Milestone Comics, who are best known for the character Static Shock. And it's definitely something unique here that has grabbed my interest. It focuses on a character named David Kim, who was in a lab accident that caused nanomachines to bond with his body. The nanomachines are able to process various materials, as well as keep David's body in perfect condition, essentially making him immortal, and giving him the term zombie, with an X for some reason, but okay, it's kind of interesting. Let's go with it. And it's just a very, very interesting book. The art style is really cool in this one. I like it a lot. And it's just got a crazy story with a really interesting collection of characters with wild, crazy, diverse powers, and I'd say it's really worth checking out. It's not often we see something truly unique in comics, and this might be one of those times. Next, we have a comic from Image that, well, anybody who's been following me on Twitter knows I love, and that is Morning Glories, this week with issue number 8 by Nick Spencer and Joe Eisma. Morning Glories is about a group of special kids who are in the boarding school from hell. We still don't know why they're there, we still don't know why they're being messed with so much, but it's been a hell of a ride already. This story arc that they're on right now seems to be giving us some origin stories for the characters, this time focusing on Hunter. And he's got some weird issues where he can't properly tell time, he's always turning up late. Nick Spencer has done a great job establishing a lot of mysteries here, while still giving us a few answers along the way, which is important, and I'm definitely interested in seeing where it's going. Morning Glories is still insane, still messed up, and I still love it. Now, moving over to the Marvel side of things, we have the 3rd issue of 5 Ronin by Peter Milligan, this time with art by Laurence Campbell. Now, I've been reading a lot of reviews about the 5 Ronin miniseries, and a lot of people just don't get it. And that's okay. You're allowed to not get it. It's definitely not a story that's going to appeal to everyone. However, just because you don't get it doesn't mean it's bad. If you watched the episode from a couple weeks back, you know I love samurai stories, and I absolutely love 5 Ronin. This issue focuses on their version of the Punisher, and he's very true to his Marvel roots, while still being a unique character in this setting. So far, this has been a great miniseries, though I do still kind of wonder where it's going with only 2 issues left. Next, we have Amazing Spider-Man issue 656 by Dan Slott and Marcos Martin. Now, I know it seems kind of odd that I'm recommending Amazing Spider-Man for people looking for something new, but honestly, I still find a lot of people who are not reading this comic. Admittedly, Marvel has made several missteps in the last few years with Spider-Man, but that does not diminish what Dan Slott is doing here. His whole new era of Spider-Man he's established here is great, high-quality work, and it's definitely worth checking out if you've stepped away from it recently. Really, the draw here in issue 656 is Marcos Martin's fantastic art. He's got a very old-school, almost Silver Age feel to his Spider-Man, while still being great for a modern comic book. Admittedly, the whole no one dies aspect that Spidey's come up with in the last couple issues, I'd say it might be a bit overdone here, but it's still a good story, and Slott is developing an interesting element here, with Peter losing his spider sense. We see a lot of normal Spider-Man things going completely wrong here, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see where he goes with this in the future. And another title making its return to the Comic of the Week is Avengers Academy #11 by Christos, Gage, and Tom Raney. I have definitely gotten a few weird looks over the past couple weeks when I said that Avengers Academy is the best book in the Avengers lineup, and Christos Gage has not been disappointing. What's issue 11 about? It's about Korvac. Nuff said. Go read it. And finally, we have Hulk, issue 30.1, by Jeff Parker and Gabriel Hardman. Now, the whole Point One initiative has been an absolute disaster so far as I'm concerned. Not that the issues themselves have been bad, just that the whole thought of them being good jumping on points really hasn't worked out so far. Thankfully, Jeff Parker turns that trend around here. Hulk 30.1 is a very good issue that tells a story which readers of the previous issues are going to be interested in and going to want to read, while at the same time, if it's the first issue of Hulk you've picked up, you're going to enjoy it and you're going to be able to read it going forward. And that's an aspect where the whole Point One issues haven't quite worked out. Ever since Jeff Parker took over this comic, it's turned from what I'd consider one of the biggest jokes of Marvel's lineup to really one of its most interesting titles. The work he's doing here with General Thunderbolt Ross and the role of the new Red Hulk is very interesting, and I absolutely love it. So there you go, guys. 6 interesting comics to check out this week. All very good, all highly recommended, all different and unique in their own ways, and each one worth checking out. And of course, that wraps up the Comic of the Week. As usual, for more interesting stuff, check out MassiveNerd.net, and I'll see you guys next week.